Yo, what's good? It's your man, 100 Grand Ross, but the rock never stops. Damn it, I gotta say this. The Warriors might be the scariest team in the NBA right now. What does it mean that Jonathan Kuminga and James Wiseman are already better than Andrew Wiggins and Kayvon Looney? I'm gonna dive into this in this video. If you enjoy it, smash the like button for me, hit subscribe and the bell for notifications. Yo, this is the craziest thing. I'm gonna be honest with y'all. I foresaw both of them getting to this point by the end of this season. I figured throughout the regular season, they still figure things out. They still, get the hang of playing with the starters. And by the end, they show enough flashes where the team goes, you know what? Hey, we can let go of Wiggins. Kayvon Looney, you can, assume, a more suitable role off the bench. But in this preseason game against the Denver Nuggets, a Denver Nuggets team that I had being in the running to come out of the West. If there was ever a team to contend with the Warriors, the Clippers, it would be the Nuggets. A two-time MVP, elite offensive players. I know Jamal Murray isn't playing, but I saw this as the type of team that could really give the Warriors a test. And what I'm seeing is Jonathan Kuminga and James Wiseman absolutely dominating. Not just playing well, not just showing that they can move in the system the Golden State Warriors have. These two are looking outright dominant. Like when you have two of the greatest shooters in NBA history on the court with Draymond Green playmaking and facilitating at the top of the key, and then you add Jonathan Kuminga and his elite athleticism, flying through the middle of the paint, slashing to the basket, cutting off the ball, along with James Wiseman and his tremendous size and athleticism, his hands, his touch around the rim, his verticality. I don't know what teams do with that lineup. And I'm not even talking about Jordan Poole yet coming off the bench. I'm not even talking about Moses Moody. I'm not talking about like all these other different variations of a death lineup. I'm not even talking about Andrew Wiggins yet being in this lineup. I'm talking about these two young boys, the sophomore, the junior, James Wiseman and Jonathan Kuminga, looking outright dominant. And I mean, look, they're looking dominant like Kawhi Leonard used to look dominant next to Tim Duncan, Tony Parker, and Manu Ginobili. Like we knew he wasn't carrying the show. We knew he wasn't, the main one setting things up. But we saw how good he looked. We saw how much potential that he was scratching the surface of. And we knew he was going to be the heir apparent. We're seeing the same thing with Jonathan Kuminga and James Wiseman right now in preseason. In preseason, these two, look, they're passing. Like this was supposed to be one of the harder things for them to learn. Both of them got criticized for their basketball IQ. People said, oh, they still need to learn the game. They don't know it well enough. They're not going to be able to adjust. The Warriors system is too complex for them. Both of these dudes have shown not just that they can adjust, but that they have already adjusted and acclimated to what this system demands of them. And they're learning how to thrive in it, applying their talent in the midst of it. This is outright scary. This is outright scary. I don't know any third-tier defender because you got your best defender on Stephen Curry. You got your next best defender on Klay Thompson. What third defender is really going to be able to stay in front of Jonathan Kuminga when you can't leave the shooters and those driving lanes are wide open? And the big can't slide over from James Wiseman. It's like, look, I love Kayvon Looney, but you see him fight for offensive rebounds that you got to be looking up and saying, wait, James Wiseman would have just snatched that and dunked it back in. I'm seeing Andrew Wiggins dribble the ball and try to figure things out, while I also realize Jonathan Kuminga would have just went right to the rim, or he would have hit the cutter. Like I'm already seeing better passing from Jonathan Kuminga than I've seen out of Andrew Wiggins. I'm seeing better ball movement, or I should say movement off the ball than Andrew Wiggins. I'm seeing just as good of defense, if not more, when it comes to switching on to other bigs than Andrew Wiggins. Right now, I don't know how to say that Andrew Wiggins is clearly better than Jonathan Kuminga. And this is where I would love for you guys to chime in the chat section. Like, do you actually think Wiggins is better than Jonathan Kuminga at this point? What you're seeing and him coming off the bench and his ability to crash the offensive glass, his ability to get out in transition, his ability to play make now, right? That was the big thing that they wanted from him last season during the offseason. They said, we want you to work on your playmaking. My man has worked on his playmaking, playing with his international team in the for the Congo, the Democratic Republic of the Congo, playing in the what do you call it, the FIBA World Games, right? If you watched it, you saw him nonstop playmaking, attacking the rim, kicking the ball out, attacking the rim, dumping it off, attacking the rim, looking to score, attacking it, like nonstop. You could tell this was a point of emphasis, and to have that type of an opportunity to do so in these FIBA World Games, it's something that is just invaluable for a young player to have. And then when you see James Wiseman, right, they wanted to see him healthy, but they also wanted to see him be able to acclimate to doing the little things that they've had him focused on while he struggled with injuries his first couple of seasons, right? How does he do with boxing out? How does he do with finishing? How does he do with setting good screens? How does he do with doing these little things that Kayvon Looney is doing consistently, right? That allows them to win. How is he going to do with playmaking and hitting the cutters, right? Passing out of the post, passing from the perimeter, right? And yet you see in these sequences, I believe it was early in the second quarter, Jonathan Kuminga and James Wiseman just play off each other. I mean, so beautiful. Look, their chemistry is just, it's a thing of beauty. It's something that you see from like the whole Clay, Steph, and Draymond trio, where they just pass, cut, pass, cut, pass, cut, pass, cut. And next thing you know, a guy is wide open. Look, Jonathan, you have James Wiseman already in the game for Kayvon Looney. 4 minutes into the third quarter. I'm watching this game and I'm just like, I don't know how Wiseman is not starting. I wouldn't be shocked if he's starting at the beginning of the season. I wouldn't be shocked. I wouldn't be shocked. And another question I would have for y'all is, if Jonathan Kuminga keeps growing at this rate, right, and everything that he's able to do, especially on the defensive end and in transition and his ability to play make, oh my God. Look at Draymond Green with the behind-the-back pass to Curry. Look, in this system, when you have chemistry and can pass the ball, yo, you are a Golden State Warrior. And the question I was about to ask was, as Jordan Poole turns the ball over, dribbling it off his foot, is if Jonathan Kuminga can play make at a high level, score in transition, get offensive rebounds, be a versatile defender, I'm curious, does he take away from the value of Jordan Poole? Look, I know that Jordan Poole is extremely valuable. Don't, that's not the argument here. The argument I am saying, though, is that when you start looking at like end of game lineups, as Jordan Poole dumps it off to Wiseman, who dunks on Jokic, right? Kayvon Looney is never doing that. But at the end of the game, when you're looking to close out a team, do you want Jordan Poole's playmaking off the bounce and shooting ability? Or are you going to go with the Jonathan Kuminga and his versatile defense, his playmaking, his ability to get out in transition, and his ability to get on the offensive glass as well? Like, when you see these players take levels, take steps, a part of you has to begin to really shift how we look at the whole, right? The evolution of these two players is just astronomical at this point. I'm gushing over him right now because I saw it. I called it. When everybody was saying Jonathan Kuminga didn't have a high enough basketball IQ, right? And they were talking about him in the draft. And I said, yo, Jonathan Kuminga can be special. He can be special. It was like, no, he's not ready yet. Yeah, they were downplaying what he did in the G League. And they were like, nah, he's not ready. I said, man, he's a hard worker. I've been talking about him. When y'all was shitting on James Wiseman and I was saying, hey, this kid is going to be special. He's got some incredible potential, especially on this Golden State Warriors team. And y'all was like, and now you're starting to see it. Now you're starting to see it. So I want to know what you all think. As always, Where do you guys think these two end up by the start of the season, by the end of the season? How do you think it's going to affect the rest of the roster and the whole pecking order on this team? Holla at me in the comment section. I'm going to get at y'all next time. Like, subscribe, hit the bell for notifications, and I'm going to holla at y'all. Peace.